فرهوفشتاد: رهبری جدید اتحادیه اروپا باید استراتژی جدیدی در قبال ایران اتخاذ کند. استراتژی یک دهه گذشته اروپا که مبتنی بر مماشات بوده، شکست خورده است.
این استراتژی شامل 4 اصل است: لیست گذاری سپاه پاسداران، توقف مذاکرات اتمی، افزایش تحریم‌های همه‌جانبه برای مقابله با سیاست گروگانگیری رژیم و به رسمیت شناختن شورای ملی مقاومت به عنوان تنها جایگزین رژیم آخوندی.
Dear friends and distinguished guests, it is now my absolute privilege to introduce another staunch ally of the Iranian resistance. He currently serves as the president of the European Movement International and remains a prominent voice in European affairs. Formerly, he held the esteemed position of Prime Minister of Belgium and served as a member of the European Parliament, leaving a lasting impact with his leadership.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Rajavi, for the invitation. It's not the first time that I am here on this World Summit Congress on Free Iran. And thank you to putting this World Summit in the colors of blue and yellow gold, I would say. It are the colors of the European Union, as you know, the flag of the European Union, and it are the colors of another brave country that, as you, is fighting for its freedom, Ukraine, at the same time. So thank you for that. And I will use this opportunity, Mrs. Rajavi, to give one clear message today, a clear message to the new leadership of the European Union. As you know, after the European elections, a new leadership of the European Union has been appointed, also a new High Representative, Mrs. Kaja Kallas, and I want to use this platform, this conference, together with you, to do a real urgent appeal to her and to the new leadership of Europe to drastically change the strategy of the European Union towards Iran and the mullahs in Iran. The strategy of the European Union has been a failure towards Iran the last decade. It has been a strategy of appeasement. It has been an attitude of complacency. And it has failed because the Malak regime continues, in fact, their evil activities, their criminal activities, not only towards their own people, but also towards the world. And the list of their atrocities, dear friends, is long today. There is the oppression especially of women. Why women? Because the women in Iran are the backbone of the democratic resistance in Iran. There are the brutal executions, especially of political dissidents. There is nearly every day an execution of a brave Iranian man or woman. We have seen during the Malak regime an ongoing proliferation in the nuclear field, and they are nearly ready to have a nuclear bomb. And there is, not to forget, the destabilization of the whole Middle East. There is no one terrorist organization in that part of the world that is not sustained and financed by Iran today. That is the reality. Well, such a regime that is oppressing women, that is executing on a daily basis dissidents, that is responsible for nuclear proliferation, that is destabilizing the whole Middle East, has no legitimacy anymore, and it never got any legitimacy. So my appeal today to the leaders of the 27 countries of the European Union, and especially to the new leadership that have been elected, and to the new High Representative, is that we need a new strategy that is more bold, that is more courageous, that is more effective. I would say we need, in fact, a strategy that is as bold and as courageous as the Iranian people themselves. That is what we need. And that means, in fact, dear friends, a strategy based on what I call 4 different pillars. The first pillar is the evidence itself. And it's cruel that our political leaders are not capable to deliver that immediately. And that is the recognition of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. What they are waiting for. The second part of this strategy needs to stop, to try, as some are doing, to revive the nuclear deal. It leads to nothing, such a deal. The Iranian Molech regime cannot be trusted, so no deal on that issue. 3, we need a new strategy, especially in the European Union, to liberate the hostages. And why? Because what is happening now is outrageous. Individual deals made by countries with the regime, and instead of doing that, a more collective approach is necessary by launching a coherent sanction strategy towards the whole regime, increasing the sanction package if every month hostages are not released. And it is, in fact, outrageous that today the European Union is only capable to sanction a few hundred, not more than that, of responsible people inside the Molech regime. And then finally, Mrs. Rajavi, 4th pillar of such a new strategy, hopefully for the European Union and hopefully for the whole world, must be the recognition and cooperation with a democratic opposition that is seen as the only alternative, especially the NCRI, dear friends. It's in fact outrageous that we are not capable to do so, because the actual regime has no legitimacy. You talked about 12% that participated in the presidential elections. I say it in another way. 88% didn't participate and boycotted the elections in Iran. And that is more or less the same as the last parliamentary election, because there, if I'm not mistaken, it was only 7% who participated. So that means 93% boycotted the election. How can you have any legitimacy in our world if 93% of your people boycott, in fact, your regime? That's the reality on the ground. And that means that we have to stop, we Western leaders, to do that the Molochs are the normal representatives of the brave Iranian people. They are not, and they will never be the representatives of the Iranian people. So, Mrs. Aravi, it's time to start for the Western leaders to engage with you, to engage with the NCRI, to engage with all democratic forces in Iran, to prepare the future. Because a future there is for Iran, but it will be a future without Shah, without Mullah. Thank you very much, and good.